And what is functionalism? So if you want to just observe in one line it says that there is a theory. Ism means any time whenever you're saying ism, it means it's a principle or philosophy or sometimes even called as a way of life. Maybe I've told you this earlier or not. I thought it is pertinent for me to tell about it now. So what about ism? Ism is a way of life. Functionalism means a kind of a philosophy or theory in anthropology that believes that culture functions. Every culture trait or every cultural element that humans use have some function. So what exactly is the meaning of this? Right? Functionalism. It believes that culture functions. In simple understanding, culture functions. For example, if we invent anything, if I'm writing on the board with this pen, that means this pen has a function. The mic which I'm using and speaking to you guys is having a function. These lights are having a function. That laptop is having a function. Whatever the humans have invented to satisfy their needs have some function, right? Otherwise, if this doesn't have a function, why would I use it first of all? And using ko chodo, why would I invent this? So humans invent and use things for their convenience. For example, if you take culture and when we examine them, it in detailedly, we will understand that culture that is developed by humans has some function such that using that function or using that particular cultural item, humans can satisfy their needs. So this is the main point of discussion of functionalism. This theory has developed by initially or originally by a French scholar. In fact, this man is a French sociologist. But later, of course, as we have a practice, we will take up any new idea or interesting thing from other disciplines as well. The French scholar called as Emile Durkheim. And what he said, Emile Durkheim said that he is talking about religion. He said that religion has a function. Humans have actually developed religion, and without any reason or without any logic or use, humans will not develop anything, including religion. So according to him, human religion is the one which has the function of bringing about social solidarity or some kind of cohesiveness or cohesion. So to make a group continue as a unit and wherever needed work together, act together, that group has to remain in contact with each other. And religion is that thing which binds them together, which brings them together and solidifies that. And that's the reason we simply use the term that religion brings about social solidarity. Religion brings about the solidarity in the society called as social solidarity. So what exactly is this doing? It is bringing people together. Yeah. So social solidarity is the function of religion. So simply whenever you want to write in the reverse, so what is the function of religion? Function of religion, if you want to replicate this in another understanding, is equal to bringing about social solidarity. In the words of or in the opinion of Emile Durkheim. So Emile Durkheim has given this initial idea, and later this idea was picked up by social anthropologists, and anthropology has got a practice. Anthropology, as it is a young discipline which has got about 150-year history only, approximately 150-170 years of history, has a habit, or rather it has got a very interesting kind of a creed some kind of a practice, that anything that is relevant, it finds interesting in other disciplines, it just picks up and adopts it. So something which is developing in sociology naturally is also interesting for social anthropologists. That is the reason they have adopted these ideas of functionalism into anthropology. So in social anthropology, there are two main scholars called as Malinowski and R.C. Brown, who have developed their styles of functionalism, or they have come up with two versions of functionalism. I'm going to discuss that right now. Two types of functionalism that has been developed in social anthropology. Earlier, I have taken the name of sociologist, right? That is Emily Durkheim. So Emily Durkheim was talking about society, and that is a subject matter of sociology. Now we are interested in social anthropology, and in anthropology, you have social anthropology is one of the biggest parts. So in social anthropology, functionalism has been picked up or developed by two scholars broadly. Who are these two scholars? As I just now told you, two people or two anthropologists. Who are these people? One is Branislav Malinowski. We have to write the full name initially. Every time in the exam paper, you need not write. One is B.K. Malinowski, Bronislaw, Bronislaw Bronislaw Kapar Malinowski. And the other man is his name is very big, and in fact Alfred Reginald, that is A.R. Ratcliffe Brown. So A.R. R.C. Brown. So simply we will be using regularly R.C. Brown or simply Brown. So usually we will be using his name as Malinowski. Usually in our discussions we will be using this man's name simply as Malinowski, and this man's name as either Ratcliffe Brown or R.C. Brown. Usually we use these names. So these two people have developed functionalism in anthropology or simply social anthropology, and later their versions also were famous. Their versions, two types of versions of functionalism they have given. In fact, what are the two types? So Malinowski's functionalism came to be known as in the syllabus it has been mentioned as functionalism. If you just notice, so Malinowski's functionalism, so this man's functionalism, okay, is known as generally functionalism and sometimes deeply. So there are 3-4 names here: functionalism, but this is an overarching functionalism. So whenever the examiner is giving, usually he says Malinowski's functionalism, or if he is not specifying, that means we should understand that Malinowski's functionalism is different from the Ratcliffe Brown's functionalism. So it is called as biological functionalism or biocultural functionalism. Biocultural functionalism, and in some books, according to some other scholars, it is known as psychological functionalism. Psychological functionalism. And of course, R.C. Brown's functionalism is simply, as you have noted, there is no change here, structural functionalism. Just note down these 2 points. So Ratcliffe Brown's name is only one. It's very simple, only one name. But as far as Branislaw Malinowski's functionalism is concerned, it is known by different names by different scholars, because the focus was on different things there. So what are these different things? One is a biological thing, the other is your psychological thing. Sometimes the biological thing was also known as biocultural, because Malinowski tries to link biology and culture at some point of time. Okay, just type noted. Once you are done with this, just type noted. Okay, so I am going to the next page. Well, so Bronislaw Kapar Malinowski has been has become famous in anthropology. Sometimes he became so famous in some, according to the description of some scholars, Malinowski became so famous in anthropology and because of his contributions. This man came to be known as father of ethnography by some people. Ethnography, in simple understanding, consists of two parts. One is a process, the other is product. Process is a field work, and product means it's a it's kind of some kind of a results. That result of the field work published in the form of a book or some journal or essay or article or essay. Usually a book is the first one. So you need to be very clearly knowing this. What is essay? Ethnography. And ethnography means it has got two dimensions. Both the dimensions can be known as ethnography. See, if I am saying that it is a process, it means it's a field work, the actual work done by an anthropologist in the field. For example, I am the anthropologist, I am going and working in a field and I am studying a particular society, maybe Andamani society, as done by Ratcliffe Brown, or the Trobriand society has been studied by Malinowski. What I am doing ethnography. Clear? Okay. And ethnography, now it is a process because it's an activity. And once I do that work, I am completing my activity, I will be using that and that background and that experience, and that I will put it in the form of a book or a journal or article, or I'll write an essay and I'll be publishing that to the wider community. That is also called as ethnography. So some scholars called it as like combination of both. It is both a process as well as products. Both the process, that is the field work, as well as a product, that is that book or that publication, can be known as ethnography. That is a single name, single term denoting both. Okay, that is ethnography. That's the reason this man, why Malinowski is called as father of ethnography? Because he has done his field work in a remote place in the Pacific Islands, right? I am writing field work here. Field work, every time I will be using the short letters FW. That field work among the Trobriand Islanders, long back, among the Trobriand Islanders, these people are island people. I will be using different phraseology, so you can use any of them. Any of it is fine. Either you call them as Trobriand Island people or Trobrianders. Trobriand Islanders. Trobriand Islanders. Please see the clear difference. Or some people called it as Trobrianders. See, three names suggest the same thing. The Trobriand Island people, or the Trobriand Islanders, or the Trobrianders. So these are basically some tribal communities, tribal people, or the simple people in the or of the New Guinea group of islands. So these are island people in New Guinea. a place which became later popular as Papua New Guinea. Recently only it got it has become a nation. The nation today is known as Papua New Guinea. But those days, in the time period when Malinowski was working, almost nearly 100 years back, in this group of islands, New Guinea was the regular name used. So this man has worked. Branislav Malinowski has worked with these people among the Trobranders between the between the years 1914 and 1918 for nearly 4 years. Of course, he has gone out of this Trobrand Islanders for some months at a time, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. Again, he has come back. So overall, it's roughly about 3 years. So 3 years of time period, an anthropologist or any human being from a completely foreign culture going into that particular location and staying with them, and for 3 whole years approximately, that is unthinkable in those days. In 1914 time, the time was also particularly interesting because it was the time for First World War. And interestingly, there is a story also behind this. While I'm covering this, you can even note down. Okay, so the story is like this. This man um, initially is a Polish born person. He's born in Poland. He goes to England and he joins in the London School of Economics, from where he wanted to study anthropology. He in fact gets a basic degree in anthropology, and after that he visits Australia along with some other scholars. There was a scheduled meeting in Australia of these anthropologists. So he wants to, because Australia is home for many Aboriginal people, many like people like these Trobranders and the neighboring communities like in the islands, New Guinea people, Micronesia, Melanesia. So there are several like hundreds of island people are there who are basically tribal people. And in one of my lectures, I have mentioned very clearly that who are the people who are the important people for us in anthropology. That means where it all began. It all began with the study of the simple societies or the tribal societies in different continents like Asia, Africa, Australia, and America. Many times we have taken the name of American Indians, right, in this class. So whether you are talking about American Indian people or these island people in New Guinea, they are basically tribal people. So these are uncivilized people according to, when compared to the Western people, civilized people in England. When these people from England, right, these anthropologists have gone there, their main idea is about to discuss the lifestyle of the people and do some research in the islands. So as part of this research work or field work, Malinowski goes and he starts his study in some islands initially. Then later he again shifts his focus to the Trobriand group of islands. So there he does his research on several dimensions of the people. Right, he does a 360-degree degree study on these people of the Trobriand Islands, and he comes up with a theory called functionalism. So Malinowski comes in different dimensions. He comes in religion in chapter 3, he comes in kinship in chapter 2.5, sorry, religion in chapter 5. He comes also in economic organization chapter 3, and he is also like an important figure in chapter 8, fieldwork or research methods in anthropology, also in chapter 6 here as part of functionalism theory in anthropology. So Malinowski is like, you should know very well about Malinowski because of his presence, all pervading presence in anthropology. This man is also called as father of ethnography by some scholars. Okay, some people even said he is a father of modern anthropology also, because modern anthropology has got many fathers according to different scholars. If all of the ideas we club together, so fathers of modern anthropology are many, including E.B. Tyler. So like this man has cast his influence on ethnography, starting with a major study called the Trobriand people. From his experience of the Trobriand fieldwork, he develops this idea called functionalism. Now, according to Malinowski, culture functions, and every cultural, not only culture, but and every cultural trait or culture trait, and also every culture trait, and also every social cultural institution, social cultural institution has a function. It has a function to perform. And this man is not saying just like that. Any statement doesn't come just like that. And earlier also we have noted very clearly that to scholars come up with theories just like that. I saw, is do they come just like that, or they are reacting to someone else? In fact, most of these theories are produced by these scholars as a reaction to other scholars' ideas or isms. So, functionalism in anthropology, especially which got kick-started by Malinowski, also was some kind of a reaction to the gaps or some kind of criticisms they have leveled against the earlier theories. So especially there was one theme of the classical evolutionists, something called as survivals. The survivals concept of classical evolutionism has been criticized by Malinowski. And what is that survivals? We need to just remember right now. I need you to recall that. Even though they don't have any, or though they don't have any function, though without without having any function, survive survive as practices or age old practices. Aisa घुमा फिरा के you can make like 10, 10, 20, 20 sentences, same idea. Age old practices by the civilized people also, Now, for functionalism theory that has been developed by Malinowski, this statement is absolutely wrong. Savage people and barbaric people are lower level people, and anybody following that is like the just you are saying these are the evidences of the evolution. You are only seeing that as evidence, any survival as evidence of evolution, and absolutely I don't agree with that. People do not carry anything from the past just like that. They have some utility or function from the as maybe they want to not forget their ancestors. They want to continue that allegiance to their ancestors, and they want to actually worship them also. They have some function, some functional value for these practices. Because of that functional value only they are following that. If they don't have any function, they cease to use that, or they stop using that kind of a practice. They'll simply dump that and they'll move on. Earlier we have noted that this scheme of Malinowski's functionalism, or Malinowski's version of functionalism, is known as biological or biocultural or psychological functionalism. Why? I'll tell you both the names. For example, we'll talk about the first name or first nomenclature. Why this man's functionalism is called as biocultural or biological functionalism. Biological functionalism. Why it is called as biological functionalism? Or in other words, biocultural functionalism. Why? The answer is because this man Malinowski uses, in fact starts his explanation with biology, or his ism, the so-called functionalism, with the right explanation with biology. So what exactly is this biology? He says Every human has got needs. The needs of humans start with biological needs, right? Human needs, in fact, if you see what are the basic needs, there are different needs. Some are basic needs, okay, the second are secondary needs, and third are integrative needs. Integrative, INTEGRATIV, integrative needs. The first basic needs are basically biological needs. The other needs are social, economic, etc. The later ones are their integrative needs. So needs are actually integrative only. Or the third level or tertiary needs. Here better we call them as tertiary. Then you will call secondary and tertiary. Then these tertiary ones are called as integrative needs. What exactly are these? I will explain. One is the biological need. On the left hand side, you write biological need or simply need. And these needs were basically, he called them as not even biological. He said these are basic needs or primary needs. This is a list of basic needs, or they are called as primary needs. And to satisfy them or fulfill them, humans have developed some kind of cultural responses or need, or simply you can put need, number 1 to 3 will give, and a cultural response. The first need is nutrition. And for nutrition, he has given a very interesting uh, fulfilling mechanism that is called as commissariat. Commissariat is in simple language called as food sharing or the mechanism of food sharing. People share the food, as I told you. Instead of fighting with each other and killing each other, people share their food. The second thing is your reproduction. He did not say sex, because sex is a very ordinary thing that other animals also do. But humans wanted their race to go forward. Okay, so there is a difference between having sex and having children. Both are different. Both, of course, the sex will result in the children being produced, but that is different. So it has to be somewhat culturally systematized or organized. So what is kinship here? I'll explain about that. I'll just write down the things and we'll discuss about the kinship now. He is not giving any direct language. He is not using direct language. Why it is so? Because he is a professor. A professor cannot simply write a simple man's language. Otherwise, this ism will not become ism. Yeah, you need to have some original language, some kind of technical language. Safety, protection, movement, activities. Then growth, training, and next is health. These all of these biological or primary needs. Primary needs are basically basic, and they are also based in biology. And without them, humans cannot survive in the first place. Okay, complete this. For nutrition, commissariat, that means to fulfill the biological or basic need or primary need of nutrition or right your food. What is required? It is the cultural responses humans developed was response of humans developed was commissariat or simply the food sharing mechanism. First one is how when the food is, earlier we were talking about food sharing. So if food sharing is continuously to be done, it will lead to something called as production or collection or distribution of the food, or goods or consumption, or consumption. The second one is regulation of human behavior. You see, now the letters are also increasing. Very clearly can see that means it has become more complex. Regulation of human behavior. Number three, renewal of institutions. Another complex or more evolved need has been produced. Authority to control institutions. The first one when you want to do the production, what you do is the food sharing has now become economic organization. It has become more wider and it has become organized. See, organization means it is getting organized, means systematized. This is one first one. The other one is social control. People have to be controlled, otherwise everyone will start showing their own true colors. The next is education, then political control or political organization.